being used by larger companies to manage their processes, right? But then how it is different than the other smaller software. So for example, if I tell you, in many companies, they are using separate software for their sales process, separate software for their finance process, okay, and separate software for their manufacturing processes. So is SAP also same? Do we need to use a different SAP system for managing all these different departments of the organization?
It's the same software, but there is a special version, speed to my knowledge. For example, for procurement, there is Ariba. For production, maybe there is like a special edition or something. But in general, in the core, it's the SAP, if I am right.
Okay. So see, yeah, you answered it correctly. You are saying that normally it is a one single software which is being shared by all the departments. Okay, so you don't need a separate system for sales. You don't need a separate system for manufacturing, for finance. You are actually going to use one single software which will have all the data available into the one single system. But yes, nowadays, because the expectations are improving, the expectations are increasing from the system, and that's the reason even if you have a software which is able to perform day-to-day activities within your organization, people are still looking for some more advanced features, and those features are available outside the SAP box. So as you said, Ariba is one of the feature which is not directly available in SAP, but we can add it into our SAP system so that we are able to use those features also. Similarly, from sales point of view, you have Hybris. From HR point of view, you can have success factor. So these are all cloud-based solutions which are in addition to the standard delivered SAP software, right?
Yeah.
So if I again come to my basic question, then what is SAP, bro? Like it's not like a normal software which we use differently for different departments, right? We are using a consolidated
Yeah.
single software which is allowing us to manage all different departments within our organization. So
Yeah.
this definition of
Yeah.
one single software used to manage all the different departments is called as ERP. Okay, enterprise resource planning, right? So what is the purpose of ERP? ERP is a kind of integrated, if you just remember this terminology, it is an integrated software. Integrated software means you don't need different softwares for different departments. You can use a single software which can be shared amongst the different departments.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so I'll show you this through this slide. So see what will happen if you are not using ERP. Okay, if you are not using ERP, if your customer orders some parts, it will come to the sales department. And you can see sales department is using their own software. So they will punch this order details in this software. And then sales department need to check whether the material is available in the warehouse or not. So he will he will ask the warehouse department that whether this material is available or not. So again, warehouse department have their own software. Okay, they will check in that whether the material is available or not, and they will tell, they will inform the sales if yes, okay, if not, they will say no, it is not in the stocks. Okay,
Okay,
now
fine.
then comes the purchasing department because if the stock is not available, we definitely need to purchase it if you want to deliver it to the customer. So warehouse department will inform the purchasing department that we need these materials. Again, purchasing department is using their own software. Okay, and finally, the purchasing department will send the purchase order to the vendor. Right
Yeah.
now, vendor will, yeah, it will also inform the warehouse department that just to confirm that we already ordered these materials to the vendor. And
Okay.
then it will also go, this information will also go to the sales department. And finally, vendor will deliver the material to the warehouse, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Not only this, vendor will also send the invoice, which will go to the accounting document. Again, you can see accounting document is using their own software. Okay. So this is just to tell you, if you are not using ERP, you are using different softwares in each department. Now, that is okay, but what is the problem with this structure? The problem is, see, in this situation, customer has ordered the material to the sales department, but sales department don't have any visibility to the stock because in the sales system, in the software that sales department is using, they don't have stock related information. So they will either call warehouse, which is manual activity, or they might have sent a email to the warehousing department that whether this material is available or not. Okay, and it is not necessary the information from warehouse will come immediately. Sometimes the warehouse person is not available, sometimes he's taking his time to respond to the queries. So till that time, customer may go away. Okay, so customer will not wait. You are if you tell the customer, sir, give me some time, I'm checking with the warehouse if the material is available or not, right? So you can lose your business. At the same time, it will take more time to serve the customer's requirement, right?
Yeah.
So if
Exactly.
I just give you this example, you are going to Amazon.com and you are ordering the material, and 3 days after you ordered, you are getting a mail, material is not available. So what will be your experience in that case? Will you be happy if customer is responding after Amazon is
Yeah.
responding after 3 days that the material is not available?
Okay.
Definitely, it will be a very bad experience, right?
Yeah. Exactly. That.
So why this bad experience came? The reason is very basic that they were using different softwares. Okay, so if Amazon keeps on using different softwares, then definitely every customer will have a bad experience, and very early they will lose entire business, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is the ideal situation? What should happen? So they
Uh,
should go for ERP. Okay, what is ERP now? The same cycle. Now see if the ERP is in place, what will happen? So customer is ordering the parts to the sales department. Sales department is directly going to the inventory data because he has a visibility of that system because it is one common system that every department is using. So you can directly go and see the reports in one single system. So if no part order is placed through the DB, so you can see if it is taking in the same database. Now order is submitted to the purchasing record order in DB. So you can see if stock is not available, purchasing department will also create an order in the same database. So again, purchasing department don't need to send manual information to the sales department that we ordered the material, nothing, because sales department can directly see and check what is the status of the stock. Okay, order is placed to the vendor. From the purchasing department, vendor will get the order. Vendor will ship the part to the warehouse department. Again, warehouse is also part of the same thing. So as soon as the part is arrived, again warehouse department don't need to go manually to the sales department or purchasing department that I received the material because it is again available within the same system. Okay, and then the invoice will come, and even the accounting department will get the same data in the same system. So what is happening? You can see sales, purchasing, warehouse, accounting, everybody is using the common system. This is called as an integrated software. In other terms, it is called as ERP.
okay.
Okay, so are you now clear?
Yeah.
What is the takeaway till now is SAP is one type of ERP. Okay, and what is ERP is? ERP is an integrated software. Okay, which integrates all different departments within your organization.
Okay.
Any question here, Abdul?
No, that's very good. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Now we understood what is ERP. Let's have some two, three liners on that. So ERP is nothing but, first of all, the full form is Enterprise Resource Planning. So incredibly large, as you said, large organizations, extensive software packages used to manage a firm's business processes. It is a practice of consolidating. Consolidating means again the same thing. You don't need different softwares. You are consolidating everything, kind of planning, manufacturing, sales, marketing, everything into one management system. Also, it combines all databases across departments into the single database. Okay, so earlier we have seen there were different databases available for sales, for purchase. Now it is one single database that can be accessed by all employees within your organization. And naturally, ERP automates the task involved in performing the business processes, because otherwise sending the mail, calling the department, those were all manual activities. So if ERP is in place, you don't need to call manually or send mails. You can just go to the system and check what is the status.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to the next one now. Some advantages of ERP: saves time and expenses. Okay, so definitely time and expenses. Why expenses? Because even writing the mail consumes time, right? And time is equivalent to expenses. When we are talking about time and expense, this is one and the same thing. Why? Because let's say you are paying $1,000, whatever it is. If you are paying $1,000 to the employee, and half of the day he is just doing the activities which are manual, kind of sending the mails, kind of making the calls, and if you reduce that half of the portion of that particular manual activity, definitely will be saving the expenses, and employees can concentrate on more productive activities. Okay, allows faster decision making by the management utilizing the data and reports tool designed in the system. How the management will take faster decisions? Okay, so like for example, who is the management? Management is someone who is taking care of the entire organization. So, for example, from the purchasing point of view, you can say chief purchasing officer is your management. From financial point of view, it is CFO. So, since everything is available in one single system, they have the complete visibility. Okay, if the visibility is there, it is very easy for them to make the decision. Let me give you the example. If you are a CFO of a company, okay, and you want to take a decision whether I should invest in US market or I should invest in Europe market. So before you take this decision, you want to know how much business capability is in US and how much business capability is in Europe. So now what you will do, you will ask your accountants, please give me this reports so that I can take the decision. And now this accounting guys, because they are using different softwares, they will tell you, okay, sir, I'll give this report in 1 month. Okay, so the decision is pending for 1 month. But if you have the access in the system in the real time, you don't need to ask your accountants to provide those reports. You can go into the system, you can take the reports, and you can take an immediate decision on that. Does it make sense, Abdul?
Yeah, that's very clear.
Single data source.
Just a small question, please.
Yes, please.
Right now the ERP, this is the last edition before the S4 HANA.
No, currently, Abdul, what we are understanding from the ERP perspective, we are still not talking about SAP.
Yeah.
We are just understanding what is ERP. We are not saying SAP ERP. We are just understanding ERP. But you are right. So,
okay, yeah.
Yes. So even S4 HANA also is a ERP product. Okay. So SAP ERP still remains SAP ERP even after S4 HANA also.
We are talking about concepts. That's me. Yeah.
Yes, I'm talking about concepts.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so it is a single data source and sharing of data among all units of the organization. It helps in tracking every transaction that takes place in the organization from start till end. So, for example, we are here to understand procurement. Procurement starts with the requirement, right? You have a requirement to purchase something and it closes at the payment to the vendor, right? So this is the entire end-to-end process starting from the start to the end. Okay, so everything in the procure to pay cycle, everything into the order to cash cycle, everything into the record to report processes, everything is tracked from start till end. And it supplies real-time information whenever required. Okay, so you are getting real-time. I gave you the example in the first point. Second point, decision making. Real-time means I don't need to wait to create the reports. Everything is available in front of me. That is real-time.
Oh, okay, fine.
And it provides synchronized information transfer in between different functional areas such as sales, marketing, finance, manufacturing, HR, logistics, and etc.
Okay.
Now we understood what is ERP. Okay, so SAP is not the only ERP available in the market. There are a lot of other ERP vendors, like Oracle also provides ERP. Microsoft also has a lot of ERP products. You must have heard about Microsoft Dynamics, Microsoft Navision. Okay, so these are also the ERP products. So SAP, but if you see here, this is the graph, or this is a pie chart that I took from Forbes. Okay, and this is in 2013, right? So as of now, there may be a small change in the situation, but if you see in the 2013 status, SAP was having 24% of the market share. Okay, and still, if you see the other vendors like Microsoft, like Concur, like IBM, they are actually calling themselves as a ERP, but still they are nowhere close to SAP. Okay, so we are not only targeting the major ERP vendors. In this graph, it is showing you the overall ERP picture. If you just concentrate on the top ERP vendors, it is just SAP, Oracle, and then you have Microsoft somewhere or Sage. Okay, so these are the big ERP vendors that we can call. And if you see the market share of this four, then definitely 60% will be SAP. Okay, remaining Oracle, Sage, and Microsoft, they share only 30 to 40% overall.
Okay.
Okay, so now what is SAP then? So SAP stands for, you can see this is the German name. The first line is the German name because this is a German product. So when SAP started, the full form of SAP was the first one. Okay, and then they translated into the English and they say this is nothing but systems, applications, and products in data processing. Okay, so this is very important. If somebody is asking you what is the full form of SAP, just don't remember system, applications, and products. In data processing is must. It is very important to even tell that.
Okay.
Okay. It is a German-based European multinational software corporation that makes enterprise software to manage business operations and customer relations. SAP is headquartered. The headquarters are in Waldorf, which is in Germany, with regional offices in 180 countries. So I think each and every country has SAP offices and SAP customers, and they provide this consulting in almost each country in the world. How is the market in Turkey, Abdul, for SAP?
Yeah, it's SAP since it's almost near to Europe, so yeah, they are using SAP more than an Oracle Turkey.
Okay,
It's
so who are the
very wide common companies to use SAP rather than Oracle.
okay, and who are the biggest consulting partners there? Do you have Accenture, Capgemini available there?
Actually, unfortunately not.
Sorry,
Could you repeat your question, please?
my question is, who is the major consulting partner there? Consulting companies who provides SAP consulting?
Actually, I didn't making a lot of research on the company since I'm planning to working in the Gulf, but I don't have idea about it.
Okay, so you are working with whom, Abdul? Which company you work for?
I'm not actually in the field right now,
Okay, right now you're
unfortunately.
not. Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay. So the company has over 335,000 customers. Okay, so the companies who are using SAP or who are actually are the customers of SAP in over 180 countries. So whatever countries are having the consulting partners, so they are supporting this much number of customers.
Okay.
Little bit history of SAP because we are learning this product, so we must know how exactly it started, where are we today, what will happen next. So the history goes like this. I don't want to go through these lines and all, so I'll just give you the overall kind of story. See, it was like in somewhere in 1960s. Okay, in 1960s, IBM got a project from Xerox Corporation. You know Xerox, right? Xerox Corporation was using different softwares for different departments, and they felt a need to consolidate or to create an integrated software. So they approached they approached IBM that if they can help them in creating that kind of ERP package. So IBM started the project, and there were a lot of guys who were involved in the project from scratch. But in between, something went wrong for Xerox, and they felt there is no need now for this particular software. So they scrapped that project. Okay, and the thing was, IBM employees they were already working on this development of this product from like with they were dedicating their time and they were like in love with this particular technology. They were loving this project. So when IBM told them no, this project is no more required. So at least these five guys from IBM they decided to leave the company and continue to work on the same product because they thought maybe if even if Xerox is not buying this, definitely this is going to be a very good product and which can be sold to many other companies who are using uh, different softwares for their different departments. Okay, so this is how everything started. So these five guys, you can see five IBM engineers: Dietmar Hopp, Klaus, Shira, Hans Warner, Hector, and Hasso Plattner. Klaus, these are all names, but normally, if you see today, who is most active is Hasso Plattner. Hasso Plattner is the CEO of SAP as of today. Also, sorry, not CEO. He's still the founder, but he's most active. You will find him in whatever different SAP events are going on. He'll be present there. Even S4 HANA was launched by his speech. Okay, so Hasso Plattner is a active member till now.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so they were working on the enterprise-wide system development only to be told that it would no longer be necessary, right? So IBM told them it is not necessary. So rather than abandoning the project, they decided to leave IBM Tech and start another company. So in June 1972, they founded, again, the name is in German, as SAP was developed as real-time software. Real-time software means you don't, again, the same thing. You don't need to rely on outdated data. You are getting the information in one single system. That's the reason they given the flagship of R. If you remember R2, R3, why they call R2, R3? R stands for the real time.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay, and then in 2014, very recent, around 4 years back, SAP has changed from AG to European company. So earlier SAP uh, entity name was SAP AG because it was a German company. Now there is a new rule in Europe that some companies you don't need to be German or you don't need to be French. Instead, you become a European company. That is the reason it is SE. So now SAP AG is converted to SAP SE. So even if you go to Google and just write SAP company, it will be SAP SE. Earlier it was SAP AG.
I see.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just for your example, normally in I don't know if you know about India or let's talk about Singapore. So we use private limited. So PVT or PTE in Singapore. So these are just a change in the name, like how the organization entity will look like. Okay, otherwise the company remains same.
Okay, fine.
Okay, and this is where everything started and where are we today. So in 1973, the first commercial product, the first product that was launched by SAP was SAP R-98. What is 98? Nobody is sure as of today. Why they said it is 98? Because it was developed in 73. But what exactly they mean by 98, even I'm not sure. But R stands for real time. Okay, so was launched which had financials and payroll capabilities. The first version of SAP was only thinking of integrating FI and payroll processes, no logistics. Okay, but they have in mind, but they don't want it to deliver everything together. They developed financials and payroll and they given it to the customers, and then they kept on adding more and more features into the same product. Okay, yeah, in another 6 years, you can see in 1979, SAP launched SAP R2. Okay, so R still remains, expanding the capabilities of the system to other areas such as materials management and production planning. Okay, so in 79, they came up with PP, and all other logistics modules. Then SAP released the new SAP R3 in 1992 after 13 years, in which SAP followed the trend from mainframe computing to cloud server architecture. So if you know, initially when if you go back to 70s and 80s, the only option to use a computer was mainframe, a room-like computer where you need to punch in one single system. You don't have multiple multiple computers to connect to the server. So that architecture was not available, right?
Yeah.
But only in 90s, SAP started to support client-server architecture, which means you have one server which is, let's say, for example, today you are sitting in Turkey, but you can easily connect to the server in US, right? So that kind of architecture is only available from 1992.
Okay.
Okay. Then you have R3 was replaced with introduction of ERP, ECC. This is the one that you just now told, that SAP ERP. Yes. So you were right in that perspective. SAP ERP is something which we were using from 2004 till 2015. And from 2015 onwards, we are on the new version of S4.
Okay.
Okay, and in 2006, SAP introduced ECC 6.0. Since then, been updating through SAP enhancement packs. What is enhancement pack? So normally, most of the customers who are using SAP system, they are using SAP ECC 6.0 today. Okay. Only difference you will find is EHP, EHP 0, EHP 1, EHP 2. So we have EHPs up to 8 as of today. So instead of changing the name of the product, they are just keeping on updating the EHPs. So 1, 2, 3, like this. As of today, it is EHP 8, which is available in the market. Okay, and then obviously in 2015, SAP introduced, I don't have that, maybe I'll write now itself, so that this is very important when I share with you. So in 2015, SAP introduced SAP S4. Okay, so this should be ECC R98 to S4, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's go to the next one then. So why R3? R stands for real time, right?
Yeah.
R stands for real time. What is 3? 3 means there are 3 layers. Yes. Okay, which means whenever you are working on any SAP system, you will be using your own laptop, right?
Yeah.
So when you are using your own laptop, you are actually connecting to the application server. Okay, you can see this user PCs, the down one. One of the user's PC is your laptop, right?
Yeah.
Now, just consider this example. I will give you the server access, right? So, does it mean I am giving you the physical server? Am
No.
I giving you the physical server with the hardware?
No, you just give
I will,
access.
yes, I will just give you the IP, right? You need to connect to that IP.
Yeah.
And the IP that I will give you is the IP of the application server, so that you can connect to the application. Okay?
Yeah.
You can have multiple applications. Let's say in this example, let's say this is a company who is in US, Europe, and Asia. So they have 3 application servers, one for US, second for Europe, third one for Asia. Okay, so if you join, let's say Asia, or let's say if you join Middle East, okay, so I'll give you the Asia server. Okay, so the application that you will be connecting is via Asia. But ultimately, because you want to see everything consolidated into one system, that is the reason you must want the database which is common, right? So database would be only one. There can be multiple application servers and there can be multiple user PCs. User PCs is called as presentation layer. In other words, it is called as presentation layer.
Okay, fine.
So just remember, this is very important from the certification exam point of view. Normally they ask such type of question, which are the 3 layers in R3 architecture. So you need to answer presentation, application, and database. They may also ask you, user PC is the example of which layer? So you need to answer it as a presentation layer.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Now we are learning procurement, but there are a lot of other modules which are available in SAP, right? You have SAP SD, you have MM, you have PP. Again, from right hand side, you can have FICO, you can have asset accounting, you have public sector management. So in short, if you keep on counting the number of modules in SAP, it is more than 100. Okay, if you include all the components within SAP, if you include all the add-ons, if you include all the industry-specific solutions, you will find there are more than 100 modules in SAP. Okay, so that is the reason we are saying it is an integrated software, right? It is not only taking care of your procurement or sales, it is taking care of each and everything whatever happens in your organization. Okay, and not only you can see this in this particular picture, in the center it is SAP ERP. But if you see outside the boundary of ERP, you have on the right hand side you have CRM, on the left hand side you have SRM. So what is happening is, even after I have a central component, even after if I have a SAP ERP, some of the features are available separately. Like you gave the example of Ariba, Hybrid, Success Factor. So these are advanced features which are not directly available on ERP, but if you want, you can connect it to the ERP as an external service, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
as of today, if you are using SAP ECC, CRM, SRM, EWM, APO, there are a lot of modules which can be externally connected to the system. But now with SAP S/4HANA, SAP is trying to bring all those extra modules also into the main component. Okay, so if you see S/4HANA, you will find lot of CRM features, lot of SRM features, lot of APO, lot of EWM are also coming within the central component.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, we will talk about that. When we talk about S/4HANA, I'll show you the graph. Just the overview how you can connect to the server. So you can see here SAP Server 5, which is on the left hand side. This is nothing but your application server. When you double click on this, it will connect you to the application server, and application server will connect you to the database. And similar to any other software, before you start using it, you have to provide your user ID and password, which should be unique. Okay, so your basis team normally provides you with user ID and password, and they controls what things you should be able to see in the organization. Right? It is not necessary that each and every user will be given all the access. I'll give the example. Payroll information is very confidential, right? So payroll information, although it is available in the same database, but it should not be visible to all. It should be only visible to the people who are responsible for the payroll processing.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So authorization security is one of the very important concept in SAP.
Okay.
So when you log in into SAP system, you need to enter your user ID, you need to enter your password, and you need to enter the language. Okay, because SAP is available in more than 30-40 languages. So if you want to connect in, let's say German, if you want to connect in French, all those options are also available, but it is up to you. Normally, by default, it is English. Okay, so if you keep it blank, normally it will get defaulted to English. And the first one is a client. Okay, what is a client then? So within one SAP system, I can have multiple clients. Okay, why we need multiple clients? Let's say I want to use one client for training purpose, another client for testing purpose, another client for some sandbox related things. Okay, so each client is independent of another client. Okay, so for example, if I log in into client 000 and I create some transactions, those transactions you will not be able to see in client 200 because those are completely independent things. Okay, so client is something which is which comes on the top of the enterprise structure. Okay, we'll talk about client in more detail. We have the slide on that.
Okay.
Once you log in into SAP system, these are the different screens that you will find. So you have a menu bar which allows you to go for edit button, favorites. With an extra, you will find multiple options. You have a title bar. Whenever you open any new screen, it will tell you in which screen you are. So currently you are in SAP Easy Access. When you open create purchase order, it will show you create purchase order in the title. Application toolbar, which allows you to create, copy, or some other things. Standard toolbar, which allows you to search, which allows you to close. Okay, you can see on the top, second one. Command bar is the place where you enter the T code. Okay, so if I want to create a purchase order, the transaction codes are available. I hope, Abdul, you are aware about the transaction codes, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So you can enter the transaction codes here in the command bar. And last one is the status bar. Okay, so just remember this because see, nobody is going to ask you this kind of questions in the interviews, but we don't know in certification exams, the question may come in which of the below bars can I see the title of the transaction. So you need to answer title bar. In which of the bar can I enter the transaction code? You need to answer the command bar. Okay, so just go through this slide.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this was all about the overview to SAP system. What is SAP? What is ERP? Okay, so this is just kind of a overview. Now, since we are here for procurement, at the very high level, we will just understand what happens in the procurement cycle. Okay, so I'll not use slides for this. I'll come to the slides again later on. I just want to show you something before I show you the slides. So let me just open some text page here. So we are understanding procure to pay process, right?
Okay, fine.
Can you tell me what is the sequence of activities that you will follow in procure to pay?
It's mainly in the procurement, but actually I don't have a clear idea about it.
Whatever you know, just try it because I just want to understand whether you worked on it, right? So just tell me what are the things that you have done in the procurement cycle.
Yeah, it's like a shortcut way for the payment that it's used for the vendor, but I'm not sure actually how it's work, honestly.
Nikesh, can you answer this?
Procure to pay is the complete process which is start from requirement.
Okay, so it starts with the requirement. Okay, so what is requirement now? What kind of requirement? So it can be the material requirement or it can be the service requirement, right?
Requirement.
So I'll give you the example. See, requirement is what? Procurement is what, first of all? Procurement means purchase, right, Abdul?
Yeah.
when will you purchase something? Let's say, for example, now you purchase this course. Definitely you had a requirement, right? It started with the requirement that I want to learn S/4HANA,
Yeah.
right? So requirement can be a service requirement. So currently the training that you are taking is a service, but it can be goods also. Sometimes you have a requirement and you buy that goods from Amazon, right? So you have a service requirement, you have a goods requirement. Now, if it is a goods requirement, you will first, now I'm talking about the company. Okay, I'm not talking about the individual, because if you are an individual, you can directly create a purchase order. You don't need any approvals, right? But if you are working in a company, let me give you one very good example. Let's say you joined a new company. So you joined IBM, for example. Now it's already 3 days, but you still not received your laptop, and you have a requirement of a laptop. Okay.
Yeah.
So you will check with your manager, sir, how can I arrange my laptop? He will say, okay, go to this link and request a laptop from there. Right? That is a normal process. So what you will do, you will create a request for the laptop.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing is, first you have the requirement, and then requirement will be converted to request. So you request it.
Okay.
Now, once you request, your manager will approve. Okay, it will go to your manager that whether yes, this has to be given or not. So manager approval,
Yeah.
right? Now, once manager approves, it will go to purchasing department, because it might not be. See, if it is available, then immediately they will give it to you. But let's say it is not available in the stock. So what they will do, they will create a purchase order. So again, the purchase order will be created, or maybe even before the purchase order is created, vendor selection. That is also very important, right? I know I need this material, but where should I buy this material from? Who is providing me faster? Who is providing me best rate? There are a lot of things, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So vendor selection, then you will create a purchase order, okay, which can be sent to the vendor. And once the vendor will receive the purchase order, he will issue the material, right? He will send the material to you. So when the
Okay.
material is received, it is nothing but material receipt,
It's good to see. Yeah.
right? So now if the vendor is sending you material, he will not send it for free. He will also send the invoice, right? That you need to pay me this much amount.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it will be invoice receipt.
Yeah.
And since I received the invoice, I need to make the payment to the vendor, right? So finally, I will make the payment to the vendor.
Oh, okay.
This is the entire procure to pay process, which starts with the requirement and which ends at the payment.
Okay.
Okay.
That means the normal purchasing cycle, procurement cycle, nothing different.
Yes. Yes, this is the normal procurement cycle.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. There can be various combinations into it. Let me tell you one more thing. So you got a requirement, you created a request, manager has approved it. Okay. Now, during the vendor selection, what will happen? Let's say if I don't know who is the vendor. Okay, I'll take this simple example of you itself, because that is a very best example. So, Abdul, you identified that I need to learn S/4HANA.
Yeah.
Right? So that was your requirement. Okay.
Yeah.
Request and manager approval at your end, it may not be there, because you are the manager for yourself. If you want, you can do it. But the vendor selection part, you must have done a lot of analysis into this, right? You must have visited some websites who are providing S/4HANA service, at what price, when the batch is starting, who is the trainer. There are a lot of things, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So when you send them mail, you are actually kind of, it is RFQ, request for quotation. So you requested me, can you provide me this training? And if you provide, when the batch will start, and how much we will charge for this training, how much server access I'll get. So you ask me a lot of things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So this is nothing but RFQ. The questions that you are asking are nothing but request for quotation. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, after RFQ, vendors will send you quotations. So I sent you the quotation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you will evaluate the quotations. You will see which is suiting you best, which is the best price, which is the best trainer, which is the best timing. Okay, so according to that, you will issue the purchase order to the vendor. Correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this is the procure to pay process. Same thing is explained here. Let's go through this slide now. It starts with the determination of the requirements. So the responsible user department, he can manually pass a requirement for material to the purchasing department via a purchase requisition. In SAP, the request is called as purchase requisition.
Okay.
Okay, the user who will request the material, he will create a purchase requisition.
Yeah.
In SAP, it is also possible that instead of you create a request, you can run MRP, okay, material requirement planning, which will automatically tell you which material is required. Okay,
Okay.
so for example, let's say you got an order from the customer that I want 100 quantity of this material,
Okay.
and that 100 quantity is not available in your stock. So what you can do is you can run the MRP. MRP will automatically derive how much quantity is required, and it will automatically create a request, purchase requisition. Okay, we will see this MRP procedure in detail, but as of now, just remember, purchase requisition can be manual and it can be automatic via MRP.
Okay. What was
Clear?
the difference?
Yes. So if you have set a MRP procedure for a material in the material master, the SAP system automatically generates a purchase requisition. Then is
Okay.
determination of source of supply. This is nothing but source of supply
It's
means
purchase.
vendor selection. So as a purchaser, you are supported during determination of possible sources of supply. This is talking about SAP terms now. So it is telling you that SAP system will support you to tell you which are the different suppliers who can provide you this material. You can use determination of source of supply to create RFQs, as I told you, right? System provides you to create RFQs and then enter the quotations. So when vendors will send you quotations, you will be also entering those quotations into SAP.
Okay.
In addition, you can refer to purchase orders, contracts, and conditions that already exist in the system. So, see, first time you will go for various different options. Let's say, for example, now you want to learn procurement, so you were not sure who is the best trainer who is providing me with good fees and all those things. So that's the reason you went for the vendor selection. Now, let's say after this course, if you want to go for another course, let's say you want to learn Ariba, will you
Yeah.
go for the same vendor selection procedure again? If it is a good experience with me, then definitely you will not search for anyone else, and you will directly come to me and ask me for the how much you will charge for this training. Am I
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Or maybe even instead of that, let's consider this situation. One of your friend is looking for same training, procurement, and you already have a very good experience. So definitely he don't need to go through entire process again, RFQ, quotation, and all, right?
Yeah. It will be automatic by Ariba.
Yes, exactly. So that is the reason you can see. In addition, you can refer to purchase order contracts, which means instead of going for RFQ quotation again, you can just go to the purchase order and place the same purchase order which you already placed. You already know I bought this material last time from this vendor, so why should I go for quotations again,
Oh, okay. Fine.
right? And then you have a vendor selection. The system simplifies the selection of vendors by making price comparisons. You will perform the price comparisons between the various quotations, And you can also send the rejection letters to the vendors. So there will be some vendors from whom you decided that I don't want to go ahead with. So they will ask you, they will keep on sending you the mails, are you interested for this? You will say, no, I decided that I want to go for some other option. So the rejection letters to the vendors from where you are not buying the materials or services.
Okay, fine.
Then you have purchase order handling. Similar to purchase requisitions, you can create purchase orders manually. Okay, so which means after the vendor selection, you will be creating purchase orders. So you can create purchase orders manually, or again, you can get it created automatically by the system. Now, how the system will create automatically? If you already have a purchase requisition, if you already have a quotation, okay,
Yeah.
everything is mentioned there. Which material I want, how much quantity I want. So instead of writing each and everything again, you will copy the data from the purchase requisition or the quotation.
As a reference, yeah.
Yes, as a reference, yes.
Yeah.
When you create a purchase order, you can copy data from other documents such as purchase requisitions, quotations to reduce the amount of entry work. You also have the option of working with outline agreements. Any idea what are outline agreements?
Yeah, actually, it's agreement with a supplier on scheduling times for supplying for delivering.
Exactly. So instead of sending, see, normal purchase order is I want 10 quantity, deliver me on this particular date. But there are some purchase orders in which all 10 quantity you don't need at a particular point of time. You can tell him, okay, I want 10, but 2 on this date, 2 on that date, so that also can be created.
Okay.
Then it will be purchase order monitoring. So once you send a purchase order to the vendor, you want to monitor it. What is the status, right? Whether vendor has sent the material, whether vendor has sent the invoice. If he has not sent the material on time, you will send the reminder letters. Okay, so that is purchase order monitoring. So you can monitor the processing status of the purchase order in the system. You can also determine, for example, whether a delivery or an invoice for a purchase order item has been entered. You can remind the vendors of outstanding deliveries. Okay, and then you will go for good receipt. So once the material is received, you will create a good receipt in your system. So when you enter incoming deliveries in the system, you refer to the relevant purchase order. Naturally, whenever you are receiving the material, you are receiving against that purchase order. So you can just write that purchase order and system will automatically tell you which material, how much quantity you can select.
Okay.
So yeah, the amount of entry work is therefore minimized and you can check whether the delivered goods and quantity match with the purchase order or not. Okay, and the system also updates the purchase order history of the purchase order. Okay, so the purchase order, there is a purchase order history tab, which will tell you the entire history of that purchase order, when it was created, how much quantity already received, how much quantity is pending, how many invoices are already created. Everything you will find in the purchase order history tab.
Yeah.
Then you will receive the invoice. So when entering the invoice, you refer to the previous purchase order or delivery, so you can check the calculation and the general accuracy of the invoice. So when you are receiving the invoice, again you will make sure that the price that vendor has charged is the same price that we agreed, that is written in the PO, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this invoice verification process is a three-way matching process. Okay, we'll talk about that in detail. It is three-way matching. So when you are receiving the invoice from the vendor, okay, let me give you again the same example. I think this is the best example. So let's say I send you the invoice for training. What you will do, the first thing you will verify whether I charged you correctly or not. Okay, the amount that I charged you is correct or not. And second thing you will see whether I have delivered the percentage or not. As I told you, let's say if my terms are after 50% completion, you need to pay remaining 50% of the amount. Okay, so you will do two things. In the PO, you will say what was the agreed price, and in the service receipt, you will say see whether the 50% has been completed or not. Right? So when you create an invoice, when you receive the invoice from the vendor, you perform this three-way matching. One is you go to the purchase order and find out whether the price that we agreed is correct or not in the invoice. And second is in the GR, whether I received that much quantity or not.
Okay, fine. That's mean if
Finally, it is
yes,
yes. Sorry, question.
yeah, in case that I made a discount, for example, or on conditions in the PO, that's mean I will monitor if it's apply on the invoice.
Yes. So if you have any kind of discounts and all, that will be also mentioned in the PO. If it is not mentioned in the PO, you are getting in addition, then there is a tolerance. Okay. So when you are receiving the invoice, you can set up a tolerance limit that okay, plus minus 5% is okay. So for example, I charged you $100, and if I'm sending you the invoice of $105, if you are saying okay, $5 here or there is fine, then system will allow. But if you are saying in the PO it is 100 and you are charging me 200, then definitely it is beyond the tolerance.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, you go for the payment. So the payment program authorizes payments to creditor liabilities, and financial accounting executes this program regularly. So normally, payment process is done by accounting department, the finance department, which completes the procure to pay cycle. Okay, so this is like the higher level. Now we need to go into drill down each and every activity. What is available in purchase requisition? What are the options available in quotation? What is RFQ? What are the different kind of purchase orders? What is subcontracting process? What is consignment process? Okay, so those things we are going to discuss.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Abdul, how much time we can continue? Do you have any other activities, or you are free for another, let's say, 1 hour?
Yeah. Actually, I'm dedicating for learning SAP right now, so I'm almost free for that.
Almost 3 4 hours you have.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe today we will continue only for 2 hours. Okay. Maybe starting from tomorrow, if you want, we can go beyond. We can continue 2.5 3 hours. I think if we go for more than that time, it will not make sense. So what you can do is whatever I'm telling you, you need to also. I'll send this PPTs immediately to you. Even I will send you the PDF documents of the certification. Whatever topics we are covering here, the next 1 or 2 hours you should try to read on your own, and maybe from uh, Thursday onwards we will be doing the practical part. So I'll be giving the server access also. Try those
Okay.
activities directly.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, so we will take just 10 minutes of break and then we'll continue again.
Okay, fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Abdul, are you there? Can you start?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what I just now told you is a normal procure to pay cycle, which starts with the requirement. After the requirement, you can go for RFQ, you can go for quotation, you can go for vendor selection. Finally, you create a purchase order. You send a purchase order to the vendor. Vendor will deliver the material, he will deliver the invoice, and then you make a payment, right? This is a
Yeah.
normal procure to pay cycle. But there are some special cases, okay, which means which are not following the normal procurement cycle. These are the three special cases, okay, which will be little bit different than the normal procure to pay cycle. The first one is stock transfer with stock transfer orders. Okay, normally this stock transfer is a thing that is carried out from one plant to another plant within the same SAP system. Okay, so let's say you are working with a company, they have two different plants. Okay, and there are a lot of materials which they keep on shifting from plant A to plant B, or maybe from plant B to plant A. Right? In that case, because this both the plants are part of your own organization, you will not go with the complete process of requisition, then converting to quotation, then converting to purchase order, good receipt, invoice receipt. There are a lot of things which can be reduced, right? You don't need to send the invoice to the intercompany, right?
Yeah.
And that is the reason the process is a little bit different. Okay, so stock transfer process is for the transfer of stocks within from one plant to another plant.
Okay.
So let's go through the linings. With this type of procurement, goods are procured and delivered within one company. So within your same company, you are just moving the stock from one place to another place. The plant which requires the material places an internal order with another plant which can supply the material. Now this order is called as stock transfer order. Instead of calling it as a purchase order, we call it as a stock transfer order.
Okay.
Thus, this stock transfer process involves not just inventory management but also purchasing in the receiving plant. So the receiving plant will, uh, the receiving plant will get the material and supplying plant will issue the material from their location. So this is a stock transfer process. Second is subcontracting. Subcontracting means, any idea what do you mean by subcontracting?
Yes, subcontracting when we deal with the third party regarding a specific material.
We are ordering one company, and this company order to another company
No,
to
that's the
take this
reason.
material.
That's the reason I gave you this question. So, Abdul, you also said the same thing that instead of you performing the task, you are giving to another vendor to
Outsource.
outsource, right?
Yeah.
That is the normal definition of subcontracting. But when it comes to SAP, SAP's definition is different. So, when we say subcontracting process in SAP, it is the process is like you ordered the material from the vendor. Let's say you are ordering computer from the vendor, but you are supplying keyboard, mouse, CPU, monitor, everything to the vendor, and he is just doing the assembly.
Yeah.
Okay, so in SAP, subcontracting means you are ordering the finished good, but you are providing the raw material.
Okay.
Okay, so whenever we go for subcontracting process in SAP, the general definition is you are ordering a finished good and you are providing one or all the components to the vendor. That is subcontracting in SAP. Abdul, you got this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go through the line. With this process, your company orders material from the external vendor. Okay, unlike a normal external procurement process, your company provides the vendor with some or all the components for the production of the material. Okay, so that
Yeah.
is one thing to note here. Last one is vendor consignment. What is vendor consignment? Again, before we go through the lines, let's understand this topic. Consignment order means, see, sometimes normally we order material, let's say we order 100 quantity to the vendor and he delivers 100 quantity, we book the GR, we book the IR. But sometimes we can agree with the vendor that I am ordering 100 quantity, but I will only pay you according to how much I save. Okay, so it is just like you can keep your stock with me, but it will still remain your stock. It is not my stock. When I consume,
I
then
will
I am
pay.
liable to pay. You understood,
Yeah.
Abdul? So, see, the normal situation is, let's say you are a vendor. I am asking you some material, you provided me material, now the material is mine and I'll pay you, that cycle is over.
Yeah.
Another option is, instead of buying the material from you, I'll tell, okay, you keep your material with me, I will sell it, and whatever amount I will sell it, accordingly I will pay. That is consignment process.
Just like electricity, so example, electricity or
Just one
gas.
question, please. In case of over delivery, that will be under consignment category.
Sorry, which one?
In case the over delivery, that will be under consignment category in this case.
You are asking under delivery,
Over delivery.
over delivery.
Yeah.
Over delivery not necessarily needs to be consignment. Because the over delivery is part of procure to pay cycle, the normal procure to pay cycle. If you want to go for consignment, the entire process is different. So over delivery definitely is not a part of consignment. It is the thing which is agreed with the vendor even when we are creating the purchase order. See, normally over delivery is when you created a purchase order, vendor sent a material, he sent 10 quantity more. So actual or purchase order was a normal purchase order, so it cannot be the consignment order. Consignment order is when you are ordering, there itself you are telling the system that this is not my normal order, this is my consignment order.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go through the line. This form of consignment means a vendor provides you with a material that you store, but for which you do not need to pay anything. The vendor remains owner of the material. See, you are not paying him anything, so he is the owner. He is just keeping the stock with you. Okay, so the vendor remains owner of the material until you remove something from the consignment store. Okay, only then does the liability arise for the vendor. Settlement for these withdrawals is due according to agreed periods, for instance, monthly. Again, I think the best example here is this Amazon. Okay, so normally Amazon is not owning anything. Every material which is placed in Amazon belongs to the vendor. Okay, only when you are giving the order, then maybe he can consume. Even he's not consuming, but we can. It is a similar example, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So now these three processes are given in little bit detail how exactly this will work. So the stock transfer will test you how it works. This process begins in the receiving plant. Okay, the receiving plant will definitely he will initiate this process. So receiving plant with creating of stock transfer order in purchasing. So he will not create a normal purchase order, he will just create a stock transfer order that I want this material. A goods issue is then entered in the issuing plant. So the second plant, let's say plant B, will issue the goods with reference to the stock transfer order. The quantity is first of all written off in the special stock. See now, let's say my plant A, uh, I know Istanbul, Abdul. Any other city, if you tell me for Turkey, Istanbul and
Yeah. For Ankara, for example.
sorry,
Ankara, for example.
Ankara. Okay. So
Yeah.
let's say you have two different plants, one in Istanbul and second in Ankara. So definitely, if Istanbul is in need, he will create a stock transfer order.
Yeah.
Okay. Ankara plant will issue the material, but it is like when he will issue, let's say it will take 2 to 3 days for the transportation, right?
Yeah.
So till that time, the stock is not available in Ankara also, and it is not available in Istanbul also. So what will happen to that stock? That will remain in the special stock called as stock in transit.
It's remain in transit.
Yes, stock in
Yeah.
transit. So in the SAP system, if you want to see the report, it will tell you this much stock is
So
in transit.
Okay.
Okay, and the process finishes with the goods issue being posted to the stock transfer order in the receiving plant. And once the uh, stock is received in the receiving plant, the process is complete because you are not expecting any invoice to come. You cannot book invoice within the same company, right? The legal entity is still the same.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. So as this is done, the quantity is transferred from stock in transit to storage location. So when the issuing plant will confirm that yes, I received this material, it will go away from stock in transit and it will be part of the actual stock.
Okay.
A hint, stock transfer from materials between plants can also be replicated in inventory management only without stock transfer orders. So the process which we have seen till now, we said receiving plant will create a stock transfer order. But again, if you want to avoid that process, let's say now both the plants are in Istanbul itself.
Yeah.
Okay, it is just like within the same plant, let's say there are two divisions, you are just moving from here to there. So in that case, it can be automatically done, even you don't need to create the stock transfer order. You will just tell I am moving the material from plant A to plant B without anything in stock in transit because it is already delivered. Okay, so
Okay.
both the options are available. When you go for STO, sometimes the material will go through stock in transit process, sometimes it will be automatically affected in the next plant.
Okay. Fine.
Then you have the subcontracting process. Subcontracting process has the following characteristics. You order the end product with the subcontracting order. So you created a PO as a subcontracting order and you specified that I want this end product. This order contains not only information about the material to be delivered, it is not only telling you what material I want, but I'm also telling about the components that will be made available to the subcontractor. So I'll be providing some components, all or subcomponents from my side to the subcontractor to receive that end product. So these components must then be provided to the subcontractor. So once you created a PO, you also need to provide this material to the subcontractor. This provision is replicated in the system by transfer posting. So this is called as the process of transfer posting. Materials that have been provided are physically no longer in your company, but are nevertheless managed in your own stock. So even you provided the materials to the vendor, to the subcontractor, but it is still your material, right? It is
Yeah.
still your
Yeah.
material, although it is not in your stock. So again, that also we have to show somewhere separately in the system. So we are showing it as another special stock type called as stock of material provided to the vendor. So if you want to generate the stock report, it will clearly tell you that this much quantity is given to the subcontractor for this particular purchase order.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then when the subcontractor has completed his services, he delivers the finished or refined material. The good receipt is also entered here with reference to the order. So whenever the finished good will come, you will receive that finished good, but also you must do something for the components that you provided. So those will be booked as consumption because those are not coming back and they are no more with the contractor. So you have to tell the system that yes, those materials are gone and I am getting a finished product against this material. Okay, so this means that not only the receipt of the end product is correctly posted, but also the consumption of the components from the stock of material provided to the vendor. And finally, the subcontractor will give you the invoice and then you will make the payment.
Yeah. Okay.
Any question on this, Abdul?
No, it's clear right now.
Okay. And last one is vendor consignment. So before you can procure a material from the vendor for a consignment, you need to agree the price for the material. So you are asking the vendor to keep the material with you, okay, and then you will sell and accordingly you will pay to the Vendor. Now let's say you sold the material and vendor is asking you for more price. Even that price you are not sold, right? So you
Yeah.
need to first agree on the price. At what price vendor will charge you. And this price information is stored in consignment info record. There is something called as purchase info record. Right, Abdul? You know what is purchase info record?
Yeah. Sorry.
You know what is purchase info record?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Just
Yes.
in front.
So in purchase
Yeah.
info record, you enter the details like,
Enter the details.
yes, you enter the details like for this particular material, how much this vendor will charge me, and normally how many days it takes for delivery.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. So only then the consignment store for this material in your company will be filled up. Then you can request the material from your vendor using the consignment order. If delivery of the material is made, the good receipt is posted with receipt to the consignment order. The only difference in this process is you will just receive the goods, okay, but you will not book those goods in your stock. And even vendor will not send you the invoice at the time of when he has sent you the material. Goods, receipt, and invoice will be carried out later on when you sell the material, when the materials are sold. Okay. So the spatial system contains a spatial function for settlement of liabilities resulting from withdrawals of the consignment stock, which means the liabilities will be only booked when you sell the material, when you consume the material, when you withdraw the material from the stock. And a credit memo is produced, which means you will be sending the letter to the vendor that now I consume this material, so I am liable to pay you this amount. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So hint is you control the procurement process you want to use with the purchase order or more precisely with the purchase order item using a special GL indicator known as item category. So don't worry about this hint. I will show you practically the system. Next one is you can set all physical procurement process described in the standard. Okay, again, no need to worry about this. Let's
Yeah.
go further and see what are the other things. So now this organizational levels, client, company code, plant, storage location, these are the things I don't want to go through slides. These are the things I want you to show you in the system. Okay. So maybe what we can do is it okay, Abdul, if we stop here today and we'll meet tomorrow with the practical session?
Yeah. That will be good.
Okay, because I don't want to, on the first day itself, I don't want to go in that much detail. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll immediately share this slide with you, which I'm using for this entire course. And I will
Okay.
also share the PDFs of the certification documents. Okay, and you need to go through those books in a particular sequence. Okay, because my slides are also taken from that books, keeping in mind that you are going for certification just after this course.
Okay. Fine. That's,
Okay,
yeah. Regarding the server,
sorry,
when
Abdul.
yes, just regarding I asked the server access.
Yes,
When I'm gonna be to access it?
it is up to you because the server access will be available for 2 months. So if you want from tomorrow, I can arrange.
Oh, okay, fine.
You want from tomorrow?
As you see, it's the right time when you see that we will start practicing.
No, I think you should go from tomorrow because once I start the practical topics, you should be also parallelly practicing on those.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Okay, so I'll arrange it from tomorrow. And one more request, whatever things we discussed today, tomorrow I'll start with kind of a small test. Okay, because it should not happen that we are done with 7 to 8 sessions and then you are rewinding everything. You should be, as you said, you have good amount of time. Whatever topics we discussed today, go through the slides, read each and every line and understand it because same question, very straightforward question can come in the exam.
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever slides, so we discussed till slide number 20. So this 20 slides, be prepared. I will just take a small test before we go ahead with the next topic tomorrow.
Okay, fine.
Okay then. Thank you, Abdul. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.